Hey guys, how you doing? Day before Thanksgiving here, and just wanted to check in with you. Really wanted to do a post on how excited I am about getting into commercial roofing. I've been doing it for several years now, but it's really in the last couple months I've really been getting excited. For the longest time, I've been doing roofing, residential roofing for about 20 years, and commercial for 8 or 10, but really haven't really ramped up to bigger commercial until like the last 2 or 3 years. So getting pretty exciting, and it's actually fun. I used to look at commercial roofing, it's just kind of work, but it's really getting fun and enjoying it now. So wanted to go over 8 tips or 8 points of what I really love about commercial roofing as opposed to residential. Number one is the obvious one everybody says is that they're bigger, and along with being bigger, obviously more money. So that's the number one thing. But also you're there longer. You're on one job site longer. Instead of just being there for 1 or 2 days like on a residential, you can be there for a week, couple weeks. Sometimes big jobs, they take months to do. So that's always nice to be in one spot and get that momentum built up and going. Also, big areas keep you moving without interruption, so you don't have to constantly start over, reinvent the wheel on that particular job and try to gain momentum again. So bigger jobs help you to do that. And then also kind of one that people forget about is additional parking or maneuvering. So residential just seems like you never have enough parking spots, places to put the dumpsters, places to put material or equipment on the roof. And on commercial jobs, you have a little bit more liberty to do that kind of stuff, parking and dumpsters and whatnot. Second thing is commercial customers are generally business owners. Not always, but a vast majority of them are business owners. And so you can relate to them a little bit better being a business owner to business owner as far as when things happen, things go wrong. They are way more understanding on how a business is run. And so you can have a little bit more levity with that. And I found that it works really good when we have the progress is slow, or maybe weather-related events, or maybe a shrinking workforce. We can't get work done in time. Generally, commercial customers, they understand that more than a residential customer would. Number 3, drips on the inside. This kind of goes with point number 2, but drips on the inside. If you're doing a large commercial project and you got a storm, maybe you got quite a bit of rain for a couple days, you're bound to get maybe 1 or 2 leaks inside the facility. Now I know there's going to be guys in here that say, I do roofing that never leaks. I haven't had a roof leak in 126 jobs or whatever. Okay, good for you, but in my business, in the real world, sometimes we will have jobs that leak a couple drips inside. So it's one thing to have a commercial customer that has a couple drips on the concrete floor and they just mop it up. But if you have a residential customer that has a few drips on their kitchen counter, that's a different ballgame, and they are not quite as understanding. So that's one benefit that I've noticed also in residential to commercial. Number 4 is way less customers to deal with. So since the projects are bigger and they're more spread out, typically I only have to deal with a third of the amount of the customers to deal with the same amount of sales and revenue per year. So typically we run through between 200 customers per year that we take care of, and to do about the same amount of cash flow or revenue, I can deal with about 50 to 60 customers in a year. So I would much rather only have to deal with 50 customers a year than 200 customers if I can get away with it. Number 5, usually commercial jobs are more low slope or even close to flat. So it's easier on the body, it's easier to move things around. It's generally less liability and chance of people falling and getting hurt. Number 6 is less competition. Residential workers or new people trying to break in the market are intimidated by commercial roofing, and because the projects are larger, it's just harder to get into and take that risk. So there's actually less competition, and for what I've noticed, it's not too hard to look good, because there's a lot of guys out there that try to sell themselves as commercial contractors, and they're really not. They don't really know the game. and they don't really know what to do when they see certain systems and they don't do their homework. So it's easy for you to look good in that aspect. Number 7, the state of the industry. I haven't seen a ton of articles on this lately, but it's my belief that with the rising amount of buildings that are coming of age that need new roofs, and couple that with the amount of shrinking workforce for skilled workers, and everybody's talking about it. We have a shrinking workforce, and also with the DACA program with the Hispanics and the way the Hispanic culture is changing right now, there's not going to be as much Hispanic workforce coming in the future. All these combinating factors are going to say that there's going to be a very big shortage of workers in commercial roofing companies to take care of the amount of projects that are going to need to be done in the future, 5, 6, 10 years down the road. So that's another good thing. There's no better time right now to get into commercial roofing, I don't think. And it's hard to go straight from not knowing any roofing to go into commercial. So I really think it's a good transition for people that have been in residential market for a little while. Although I have seen some guys that haven't done any roofing and that have jumped into it and have been successful. But I do really think it's good to be around residential for a little while before you jump into it. And in closing, residential roofing is work, but commercial work is fun. So in closing, hope you guys stay safe. Hope you have a good holiday weekend. Tomorrow's Thanksgiving, so I hope you stay thankful and grateful. And I hope you had a good year.